everyone. My name is Miss Heidi. I am the Center Coordinator for Discovery Center for Little Scholars. I'd like to welcome you to the program year of 2020-2021. This is definitely a very unexpected school year, very different kickoff. I'm used to seeing all the families in person, meeting everyone, having refreshments, having so much fun where teachers get to see you. But unfortunately, we are in a pandemic environment, and I just want to assure you that you're not alone this school year. We are doing our best to maintain our relationships with our families and also service families, and want to assure you that we are here for you at all times. It's our clear vision this school year and our commitment that we will continue to build bridges and transform lives. So, if you are a returning family to Discovery Center, welcome back. And if you are new to our program and new to Discovery Center, though everything looks different, we still hope you find some comfort in knowing that we will be your extended family at Discovery Center Head Start. We also want to thank you for trusting us enough to help prepare your child for school and your family for success. Without you and your children, we would not be able to do what we do. What I'd like to share with you now is the mission statement of SIUE Head Start Early Head Start. The mission statement is to provide quality, individualized, comprehensive services that empower children, families, and staff from diverse backgrounds in order to achieve success. At all times, that is our goal. That is my staff's goal. That is the program's goal. The staff will be reaching out to you as soon as Friday, and will continue this journey with you until the end of the school year. I am asking that you understand that they are excellent. Now, teaching has become a different venture in this pandemic, and though you may not trust that they are excellent, I do ask that you give them some time, some patience, and please extend any kind of greeting, any kind of information you may need to them, as well as myself. I'm asking you this because not only do I understand from being a teacher, but I am also a parent of two kids that are now doing a hybrid schedule, then they're doing virtual, and then they're at home. And this is some uncharted territory. So with that, I do ask that you are patient with us. And I do ask that the lines of communication are incredibly open, because we want you to know that we are here for you. It is very different, and we will continue to use your constructive criticism, your needs, your comments, your praise, anything to do what we need to do for your children. The program options, I like to go into that to talk about, what we offer. Most of the time when you've applied, you do know that. Our Early Head Start program, birth to 3, is a full day program, meaning that you do have to show eligibility that you're working full time. We also offer a part day program. The part day program is for families that do not have to be working but still qualify, and that is basically a 6.5-hour day instead of a 7.5-hour day. We also offer a Head Start 3 to 5-year-old program that is a full day program, meaning that we will ask for your check stubs to verify that you are working full time so that your child can be in that program. If you run across any family that is wanting Head Start services, you are our biggest one fan. You are a supporter, and we need you to go ahead and tell these families, anyone you know, to contact us. We will let them know as to what program would best fit their needs. With that being said, we not only do educational services, we do comprehensive services, and we serve all of St. Clair County. So the one requirement in order to be in the Head Start Early Head Start program is we service St. Clair County residents. We recruit, like I said, year-round. We are looking for children, even if we serve them differently this year than what we have in the past. I know that most of the families that I have serviced over the past 5 years have nothing but wonderful things to say, especially about the program. But it is so neat to see siblings come back to Discovery Center and miss us when they go to kindergarten. So your stories out in the community speak volumes, and so that we ask that you continue to spread those. And any child you meet, please refer them to us. As early childhood education was important to you, it is also probably important to other families that you meet. Like I said, communication is going to be incredibly important. You may be getting phone calls, you may get memos, you may get texts, you may get voicemails, you may be asked to look at Facebook, you may get a Zoom call. Now, with all of that being said, the communication can be completely overwhelming at times, and we know that. We also know that technology doesn't work all the time, and we understand that too. So at any time you are feeling frustrated, know that we understand. The biggest thing that we do ask is that you have a phone number on file that we can contact you at. If your phone number is to change at any given time, we need that information, because not only do we send personalized text, but we also send program text and information that you will need to receive. Also, if your living condition as far as your housing address changes, we need that too. So make sure the biggest key to communication is having your phone number and address readily accessible. Any concerns or complaints, like I said, you just need to bring them to me. I am Miss Heidi. I want to know if there's a concern, a complaint, or a praise. I do love to tell my staff if they are doing a wonderful job too. We like to hear good things. You can reach out to me. My office phone number is 618-482-6973 to leave a voicemail. You can also reach the front office desk at 482-6971. Lastly, when you do reach out, if there's a concern or a complaint, or at any time you are on the SIUE campus at Discovery Center, the program does model a code of conduct, and adults are to serve as role models of appropriate behavior for children. And in order to best serve and keep our families safe, we need to maintain that policy of a zero tolerance for behavior that is aggressive or violent. Please make sure that if you are involved with a relationship or a situation that could be considered violent or harassing or does not honor our zero tolerance plan, you let me know so that we can make sure that everything is safe for you and your family and anyone that comes on the campus. Last but not least, attendance is very important. Attendance is going to be different. Most of the time, the new parents don't know me that well. My returning parents know that if you're not at school, you get a text. So we're going to navigate that as much as possible as to how attendance will be. But I do know when we return back to school, I'll go more into the attendance policy then. Okay. I know with that, we're going to have a different return to learn programming. I need you to know that September 8th through October 1st, all of the children are going to return remotely. That means no child is returning to our center until possibly October 5th. Okay? We will service the children Monday through Thursday with a Friday professional development day. So the teachers will be reaching out to you September 8th through October 1st. And they will be doing assessments. They will be talking about health practices. They will be discussing any of our screenings that we do. And then October 5th, based on what the Illinois Department of Public Health and the Office of Head Start and DCFS and everything that we are involved with under Office of Head Start and our program needs, we will hope to begin rephasing our reopening of our classrooms. It would allow for some classrooms to be open and some to not. So again, that will be information that is coming. October 5th, all children that are learning in a virtual format will be using the Creative Curriculum Cloud format. Families would most likely begin utilizing a chosen tablet or device, and different apps would be loaded on that. So that's information for October 5th. But currently what you need to know is we are virtual until October 5th, until we can rephase opening classrooms. If you have any more questions about that, you can definitely give me a call, as it can be very confusing. The SIUE Head Start is going to protect your child during the COVID global pandemic. We have a number of changes in place, okay? So when we do get to come back to the classroom, all the children over the age of 2 are going to be encouraged to wear face masks while in the center. We will provide 5 reusable washable masks to each child. The masks will be labeled, and we will launder them at the center. They're incredibly cute. I wish I had one to show you. They're the Crayola face masks, and they actually have like emoji faces. They're so cute, and they adjust around the ears. So we do have masks for every child. And then all staff and guests will be required to wear a mask while in the center, okay? When children are going to be dropped off at Discovery Center and picked up, there will be a designated area, meaning it will be right outside leading into our center. There will be an orientation more so about that too. But what will happen is that children and the person dropping off will receive a temperature reading. The child and the adult's temperature must be below 100.4 degrees, and they must be free of a cough, headache, sore throat, muscle aches, or shortness of breath. The child will not be allowed to stay at the center if their adult has a fever. Okay. Again, there will be limited access to the centers, and you will have no access to the classrooms. Now, as a parent, when I dropped my little girl off to first grade to a brand new teacher this couple weeks ago, I was heartbroken. I know the feeling of hearing, I cannot go into that classroom. And I hear it. And I can't imagine hearing that, knowing I have a little one, little bitty baby. But what I do know is this. You can view your child's classroom outside. The perimeter of the building, all of the classrooms, you can look inside. So we can try to make it work that way. But again, you will not be allowed to come into the classroom because we are trying to mitigate the exposure of COVID. We will have hand sanitizer outside of the center. It's going to be all over the place. And then we do encourage hand washing throughout the day. In the past, if you're a returning child, we'd always did family style dining where the children serve themselves. That will be suspended until further notice. All food will be provided to the children and hopefully served at staggered times, and as usual, no food can be sent home, or you cannot send food in. The playground equipment, the toys, the bathrooms, and other high-touch surfaces will be cleaned and sanitized or disinfected according to guidelines published by the CDC. The group size for children ages 3 to 5 will be reduced to a maximum of 10 children and 2 teachers during the first month of class. That would be beginning October. And the group size for infants, toddlers, and 2-year-olds will be limited to 4 or fewer. This reduced ratio will reduce the number of possible exposures for children and staff. The ability to increase the number will be evaluated monthly to determine whether SIUE can safely care for additional children. Again, we want all the children back, but we also have to keep in mind their safety. SIUE Head Start will inform parents of all suspected or diagnosed cases of COVID-19 when your child is within on the center. You'll be notified through a health alert, The school messaging system, like I said, you need to have your phone number up to date so you get that. And also communication by telephone. If you do not opt in to have the communication through the school messaging system. If a child is diagnosed with COVID, he or she cannot return to the center until all 3 of the following criteria is met. The child is fever-free without the use of fever-reducing medications like Tylenol and Motrin for 72 hours, meaning 3 days. The child's symptoms have improved. The cough, the shortness of breath, and it's been 10 days. Right now it's saying 10 days since your symptoms first appear. If a child has symptoms of COVID and is determined by a medical provider that the child likely does not have COVID, the child can return to the center when all 3 is met. The child has no fever with no meds for 3 days. They have a negative test for COVID-19 and a note from a medical provider documenting no clinical suspicion of COVID-19. This is a lot of information, so also if you're confused, please know that you can call me at any time about this. And this is information that will be more relevant when children start coming into the center. But I also like to be forthcoming so that you know what happens when children do come into the center, what our protocols will be. And moving on, this is still our parent handbook too. I like to go over it, but you will get a copy of it too. So I like to make sure that everyone knows how Discovery Center works, how the program works, and I like to just put a face to the program too. I don't like it to be too misconstrued or too confusing or, have unanswered questions. So please, the rest of this is information you will be getting in a handbook, but I do still like to go over it in case there's any kind of confusion and I can offer some clarity. We pride ourselves in parent engagement. Parent engagement means that you are your child's first teacher. What you know about your child, you know better than anyone else. Okay? We want you to be able to reinforce with your child what they learn at school. We want you to be able to tell us what's working for your child, what's not. We want to know, hey, we can move on from learning how to put our jacket on because we have that self-help skill, but can you please help me in teaching my child to tie their shoes? There's those things. So when you know your child, like you know your child, you can communicate with us as to what you need us to do for them individually. We like to have a positive, natural link between your child and us. And we like to know your community, know their community and how their community affects your child. We do like that you spend more time with your child than any of us do, So the time you get with your child, especially during COVID, speaks volumes to know what you know about your child. Instructional services. This is the teaching, the learning, the screenings, the assessments, what we offer to your child. To keep it brief, our primary goal is to help children possess the skills, knowledge, and attitudes necessary for success in kindergarten, subsequent grades, and life. We want your child to be school ready, life ready, social and emotionally ready for life. Children learn best by exploring, by trying new things and asking questions. Questions are a strength in children. When children play, they use their bodies, their imagination, power of choice, and problem-solving skills. Now this year, like I said, we have implemented the additional safety measures to ensure children can continue to learn in a safe and nurturing environment at home or in a classroom. Activities are going to have to be specifically chosen for your child based on their current level of development. What we are committed to do is support your child and family to learn virtual or in the classroom. And virtual instruction may include, but it's not limited to, pre-recorded instructional videos, online tutorials, Zoom meetings, creative curriculum activities. New curricular content will be presented and children receive ongoing assessments no matter the instructional format. So basically what that means is we are going to do our committed best to serve you in an excellent manner so that your child's individual needs get met. And in no way during this time do I need or want or wish any kind of frustration through technology. We will make this happen. One of the things you're going to be in contact with about your with your teacher in this upcoming month is our pedestrian safety policy. That's something we do one time a year. It says, as more preschool age children are being transported to and from school programs, all of our SIUE Early Head Start parents, guardians, and children receive transportation pedestrian safety training. So that's something to your the children's teacher will be sharing with you. That's something we do every year. We do it even with the field trips. I don't know what field trips are going to look like this year though, so I don't know. Assessment. An assessment sounds like a scary word to me. It's like a test, and then people get test anxiety. Excuse me, I have a fly. And an assessment is basically seeing where your child is at. It's not saying your child is not where they're supposed to be, and it's not saying, oh my goodness, they're so advanced they don't need preschool. An assessment is basically a plan. An assessment, let me say this different, as part of our program plan. Let me say it that way. We do this so that we can meet the individual needs of your children, okay? This assessment this year is going to be conducted remotely with you and the teacher, and this should take place within the next 2 weeks beginning September 8th. So this is critical information that you and the teacher can go through and discuss and work together to make sure that the information that you are giving about your child and what they can do will guide the instruction for the teacher. So for instance, one of the questions may be, my child can draw a circle. You have to give them a pencil. If they can't draw a circle, we need to know that. Is it any fault of your own? No. No fault, no blame. But that's something we know that, they need to work on their fine motor. So it's just questions so we know how to meet the needs of your child. That was just a broad example. It may be, my child can jump with 2 feet already, whereas one child may not. So that's something they practice. These are just simple examples. So we do offer the individualized screening, and we use the Ages and Stages questionnaire and Ages and Stages questionnaire social emotional edition. Some of you may have seen these at your doctor's offices already, or I know WIC offices sometimes do them as well. Again, you will work with your child's teacher to complete this screener within the next 2 weeks. We do offer speech language enrichment therapy. That screening, these screenings that the teachers are doing in the next 2 weeks will help us to know if your child would benefit from a resource to include the option for speech and language evaluation and determine if that's something they may need. We want to catch anything your child needs earlier than later. You can also, as a parent, state, I am worried about this. I am concerned about it. I want to do a referral. And that's something we can do as well. Special services. The program is committed, like I said, to ensure the children who have specialized needs receive the services they need. In order to determine if a child is eligible, we have to do these screenings. We have to collect the data, and then we also have to get parents' consent. So again, if there's a concern with your child where you don't feel that they are meeting the milestones when they should, or if there's a speech concern, or if you're just behaviorally concerned about your child, that's something you can definitely communicate with myself, the teacher, so that we can see if your child is on track, if they need some extra support, or what we can do to help them. Behavioral health services are also something that we provide. The goal is to help children feel positively about themselves and interact with all children, okay? Children do engage in challenging behaviors, and I do know that there's some research out right now that with COVID and the pandemic and the different life changes, there are some challenging behaviors presenting for children. We are committed to using the pyramid model for the promotion of social and emotional competence in children ages birth to 5. This is basically a positive behavioral intervention and a framework that commits systematic thinking and implementation science. Okay. Basically, when we're back in the center, I'll go over this again. If there is a behavior that continuously, like excessively, goes on that's challenging, the teacher will document the behavior and you'll get a behavior observation form, and we will brainstorm ways in which this could, what we need to do to support your child. Again, if you need any help behaviorally with your child while virtual teaching is going on, please let myself or your teacher know, your child's teacher know. We do have parent-teacher conferences. I am suspecting that most likely, because of COVID safety protocols, these could be done virtually. The parent-teacher conference is a time for you guys to discuss, offer observations, and all of that. It's going to seem like in the first month of school, at least, that you're constantly having a parent-teacher conference, or you're talking about something with the teacher. So in ways that, I didn't ever perceive that COVID could be helpful, this is helpful because you get a chance to talk to your teacher all the time, not just rushing in and out for those parent-teacher conferences. Parent-teacher conferences will also target assessment and milestones as to what we have noticed about your child. Home visits, again, that's something that the program and Office of Head Start requires. It's to serve as an important bridge between home and school, and is insightful for a child to be observed in their home environment. Again, because of COVID, most likely these will be done virtually as well. Transitions. One of the biggest things that Head Start is all about is transitioning your child. The transition from school to COVID to home has been incredibly rough, but what we pride ourselves in trying to do is to transition your child. At Discovery, your child may come to us as an infant and they grow to be 3. And then it's preschool time. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he or she is so big. We go through this all the time at Discovery. And then all of a sudden, this little bitty baby, I'm not even going to talk about who it is because it makes me cry that she's in kindergarten. But this little bitty tiny baby that we saw 5 years ago, and I love them all differently, they're on to kindergarten, and you're like, man, and their parents are like, I can't believe they're going to kindergarten. What do I do now? So we serve to help you make those transitions, those big jumps. Oh my gosh, they're 2, they're potty training. Oh my gosh, now they're 3, they're moving on to this step. And we're here to help you in every step of the way. With kindergarten, especially those kiddos getting ready to go to kindergarten in the 21-22 school year. I think that's right. We serve to help you figure out the registration process, what your child needs to be ready for kindergarten. So those transitions are really important in the development of children. Our family advocate, a lot of you have met Miss Kim, and we will be having one more family advocate join us shortly, Miss Jeffries. She will be housed in a different building. We will not see her most of the time. So most of the time you will see myself or Miss Kim. And basically what those family advocates do is support you in goal setting. Our family advocates like to help you find resources. If your water bill is too high, if you don't have food, if you're out of diapers, if you don't know where to take your child to the doctor, or your house flooded, and there's life circumstances that our family advocates help you with. And in the beginning of the year, you will form a family partnership goal. I run into this all the time, though, where parents have no goal. Really? The biggest goal right now, I told one of the moms, is just to learn to navigate on the phone and Zoom and virtual, or how to be, one of my goals right now as a parent, if someone were to ask me, is how am I supposed to work? How am I supposed to teach my kids? And how am I supposed to get them to school on Monday, Thursday, Friday one week, and then Tuesday and Wednesday? And how do I maintain some sort of balance? Some parents may say, I want to obtain a GED. Some may say, I need help changing my career around. Some may say, I'm unemployed because of COVID and I need a new job. I need COVID resources. So we're here to help you. You may want to obtain medical and dental treatment. That could be a goal. There's all kinds of goals, and we're here to help you with that. With that, we also value parent committees, and we also invite parents to join the policy council. The policy council is basically sort of like a parent-teacher organization for the program. It's an incredible resource. I like to join the meetings just to see what's going on. It's a valuable resource where the parent can learn about, the differences Head Start may offer rather than a daycare program. It shares what we're doing, what we're not doing. You get to vote on policies. You get to hear about policies firsthand. So if that's something you're interested in about being a policy council person, please let me know. And as we go virtually, we will determine how we vote and go on to determine those people. We do offer food and nutrition services. The good news is I think beginning Wednesday, whatever day Wednesday is, there will be a text that comes out and your teacher will call you. Wednesdays, we will provide sack lunches to families to be able to pick up. And on Mondays. The reason we chose Mondays and Wednesdays to see how needed these services are. And I also understand as a parent, it is incredibly hard to come every day to pick up a lunch, especially when you've got children virtual schooling, you're trying to work and all of that. But beginning Wednesday, we will have lunches provided. And please be noted that we will work incredibly hard to make sure everyone gets a lunch. Next Wednesday is our first day doing this. So you will get more information about the time to pick up. You will also be asked to come get your staff handbook, and continue on with the journey with all of that. Also, if this YouTube video didn't work, well, you can view it then too if you wish. The other comprehensive service that we do offer is making sure that you are your child's advocate for their health care. Being a mom, especially the first time, you don't realize how many shots, what the shots are, if you're immunizing, what a healthy weight is, what a blood pressure is, what hemoglobin is, lead, what is all that. So our job is to help you with any questions you may have navigating the health of your child, or to also make sure that you are getting, your child's up-to-date health and dental examinations. That is something you will hear from us all the time. Hey, your baby is now 6 months old. We need a well baby checkup. Hey, your baby's now, 8 months old. We need a well baby checkup. Oh my gosh, your child is 3. We need a physical. We need a TB. We need a lead. We need a blood pressure, a height and a weight. It's a lot to navigate. And the reason we do this is because not only do you have to make sure your child's best advocate in their health care, we also want to ensure that we are meeting the needs of your child, and we are under DCFS licensing and need to make sure that those documents are secured. So when we do ask for those things, it's not us trying to be a pest. It's not us trying to tell you you're not doing it. It's us getting what we need to make sure our program runs, but also following up so that you're making sure your child is enabled to learn. There's a lot of studies that if health needs or nutrition needs or hearing needs or vision needs aren't met, a child can't learn. Those are their basic needs. It's amazing what I can speak on my behalf with one of my children. I have 2. I had no idea that she could not see. The only thing I thought was, oh my gosh, she's so clumsy. She's clumsy. She's clumsy. So we put glasses on her. She gets better. She's seeing. Well, then I'm like, she's still clumsy. This was last January, I believe. And I'm like, I just don't get it. She's so clumsy, like tripping over her own feet. Well, take her to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. And he's like, no, she's got lots of fluid behind her ears, you know. I kid you not. We put tubes in her ears. And she's 6. Well, she was 5 then. And she's not tripped at all. So some of this is trial and error and follow up and being an advocate for your child. So the healthcare is important for children, because if those needs aren't met, it could not help them in the future to learn. So we also do dental screenings, and we also do cleanings, but due to the COVID pandemic, they may be suspended as far as the children being able to get their teeth cleaned at school. So if you're in need of a dentist or a dental home, you need to talk with Miss Simpkins, Miss Kim Simpkins, the family advocate, so we can point you in the direction in which your child can get their teeth cleaned. And believe it or not, it's not when they're 5. You're going to be really surprised about the dentists, okay? The medication policy, that's something that's going to be in your enrollment paperwork. If your child does take medication, before they ever enter the center, that packet has to be done. So if they take albuterol for asthma, if they need an EpiPen and Benadryl, if they need ointment, if, I'm trying to think, if they take a nebulizer, anything like that, we do need a medication packet done. We have that ready, but you cannot send it to the center unless that packet is done and we have the label, the prescription label on the box, and it's not expired. So that's definitely something that when you enter school, we can talk about a little bit more. When children are sick, there is an exclusion policy. And I talked about that with COVID. And then also, again, in that handbook, it talks about, you know, do not send your child to school if they have any symptoms of an illness. If they, you know, have diarrhea, fever, body rash, can't breathe, vomit, earache, persistent crying, all of that is when you do not send your child to school. And then you just call us and let us know what's going on. Okay. Now also, like I said, on a normal day, when we get to come to school, we arrive at 8:30. Time could change. I don't know anymore. I'm hoping it's 8:30. And it's important for your child to be on time. That's something, you know, is important. When school starts for kindergarten, you can't be late. And that's kind of how we run it. You know, you can't be late for school. You have to be here. And when you sign up for the program, we are here to meet your needs. And we make sure that we are readily available at 8:30 for arrival for your children. Again, the arrival time could be different. The reason I say it could be 8:30 is because we may be looking at a staggered arrival time where, you know, so that we can provide those temperature checks and everything to be more smooth. When we dismiss the children, it's the same thing. You have to be there on time. I am not kidding you. It is incredibly frightening and scary for a child if they see all of their friends leaving and their family member is not there yet. One of the things we do is we encourage you, and it's in your enrollment packet, to do that card, the card of emergency contacts. If you are not there to pick up your child, we will call down a list of emergency contacts. If it becomes a repetitive pattern, we try to work with you to make sure that we can secure that you are or someone can pick up your child. So we do need you to be able to pick up your child and arrive with your child on time. That is something incredibly, it's always been important, but is incredibly important this year because of our having to do a staggered schedule. So you are going to have reliable drop-offers and pick-uppers. So we'll talk about that as the school reopens. We are going to have, you know, cubbies, and the kids will be able to bring up backpack and all of that when school starts. There will also be a communication folder that goes back and forth. So that's another thing that you will get when the children start back to school. With that, anything that you send to school will have to be labeled, and don't bring anything from home as far as toys or food. So there will be more reminders about that. Last, I do want you to know that outdoor playtime can be instruction. So as you navigate this, and I don't know, it's been incredibly wonderful for me to be able to be with my children, but it's been incredibly difficult because it's navigating something I've never had to do before. Work has been work for me, home has been home for me, school has been school for me, and I've been that mesh between. But to have it all together in one house, trying to figure out how to do this, has been incredibly hard. And the only thing that I have really been able to turn to is outside time. There is a time that it's time for everyone at my house to go outside, or it's time to get some fresh air. And believe it or not, Head Start does that in their programming. You will find when your children come back to school, outside will be a vital time in their day. It encourages children to use their large muscles. It encourages them to climb, pull up, develop those muscles. This is my biggest worry right now with all the virtual and the iPads and all of this as a mother. My biggest worry is that all these little, they're going to swipe and they're going to do all this, but the big muscle skills aren't going to get developed, and the fine little motor skills won't get developed because we're swiping or typing or moving on technology. That is my fear as a mother. And I've thought about it a lot. So some of the things I do make sure my children do is they go outside, or we make a time to get on YouTube and dance or jump or play. Believe it or not, you can learn a lot through playing, but also outside and fresh air is good for vitamin D, and it's good for everyone. So I do encourage you to go outside, and I do want you to know that when you come back to Discovery Center, we will be outside. We will have an alternating outside schedule. Only one classroom at a time is allowed, but then there will be times to go on walks around the school. There will be times to play with, let's think about sidewalk chalk. Sidewalk chalk is a way to get outside and also practice fine motor skills and writing and drawing. Just a time that's not structured, but also provides those big muscle play time. So I do encourage you. The weather is getting nicer. July and August is always so hot. It's hard to get kids outside because it's hot. But I am encouraging you to try to get the kiddos outside. We will do it based on the temperatures for weather permitting. In Illinois, it means it's between 25 and 90 degrees, taking into consideration the wind chill. So, for example, if the temperature is going to be 30 degrees, which I hope winter is a long, long time away, but it's 18 with the wind chill, it's not expected that they go outside. So just know, when you come to Discovery Center, we will be outside. Outside is just as important as inside. Lastly, the cell phone free zone. In order to promote the importance of your child's school experience, the use of cell phones during arrival and dismissal times are prohibited. So please, 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 I do not like to be the cell phone person. I don't. But it is something, it is an incredible communication device right now. I mean, it was 6 months ago, but it is now. But I do ask that if you have to take a phone call, you excuse yourself from the building and then pick up after you can turn off your phone. Same with arrival. One of the things we try to teach the children is how to greet someone and how to say goodbye. And we expect and hope that you would model that to your children. So when you're there to drop off, though it may look really different, if you're on a cell phone, it's hard for you and us to model with a child how to say hello or how to say goodbye or how was your day. So there is some educational value to that. It's not just me and the program stating get off your cell phone. Next, we are a drug-free zone. Federal, state, local, and SIUE's policies and laws prohibit unlawful use, possession, or distribution of alcohol or illicit drugs at all on our centers and events. And also, smoking is prohibited too. So I do like to be upfront with that. We're also in the business of making sure that children are safe, okay? Children have to be safe, and we are mandated reporters. So we try to be forthcoming with that because our job is not only to educate children and provide health services and help you navigate the education of your child and their academic and social emotional growth, but it is to keep a child safe. So I like to share that with you. And if your child fell off the bed and hit their eye, let us know. We know kids are kids, but we also know that when we suspect or see some sign of abuse or any kind of treatment that is not in promotion to the well-being of children, we do have to follow the protocol to call DCFS and report. So I do like to share that too, because we, like I have said throughout it all, love your children probably as much as you, because you love them more. They're yours. I can hear from countless people, I love your girls, I love them, I love them, I love them. They don't love them as much as I do. And if something were to ever happen to them and someone did not do something about it, I would be incredibly upset. So know that our hugest intention is to keep children safe. That is our biggest intention. And then our second most intention is to have them fall in love with learning and learning from each other and playing and communicating and having a good time and expressing their emotions. And finally, this is my first video, so I might have said a lot. I have never did an orientation on YouTube. I needed some way to connect with families, and I think families need some way to connect with us. Normally I have my whole staff behind me, and it's just very different. And I know I shouldn't apologize for it, but I feel as if there needs to be some way we can connect. And this was the only way I could think of it, to put a face without a mask to a video, to some policies. And it's overwhelming. All of this is a lot to hear, and it's a lot to feel like you have to know. You don't have to know it all. We are here. You can call us. You can ask us if it's not working, if your kid is freaking out, if you need a break, if anything. We are definitely always here to support you and your children. So with that being said, we will continue to follow up about the food distribution beginning Wednesday. It'll be on Wednesday and Mondays. And we will be asking families to please come in, only one person at a time, by appointment only. We will send texts to pick up the handbook and sign a receipt copy. And then also, if you're in need of any kind of resource, such as diapers or food or crayons or paper or any hygienic items such as shampoo or anything like that, we can also help you with that stuff too. So as always, we cannot wait for school to start, and we are asking for your grace as we navigate this. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to always be pretty, and it's not always going to be fun. And I don't even know if this video will fully load. But what I do know is we have each other, and we have a village, and we're going to build this bridge the best that we know how. And we know that we will get through this, all of us. So thank you again for joining us at Discovery Center Head Start. We are so glad to call you part of our family, even though it's a little different. Take care and have a good day.